Let us say hello to the answer. There he is. Themba, my man. How are you?
Man, Ariel, how are you? Nice to meet you, brother. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a blessing to be here. I'm so happy.
It's my honor. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it very, very much. Are you by the way, are you joining us from your house in Miami?
Yeah, I'm now finally in Miami. I just got here this morning. So, yeah, just came from the gym now. So, I'm back home and I'm going to rest a little bit, then go train again tonight. Yeah, let's
Two
go.
training sessions? You don't take a day off or two?
Yeah, man, I'm here to be a champion, Ariel. So, if you want to be the champ, you have to work. And I don't have a lot of time. I want to do this year, and I'm here to work. I'm not here to play around, Ariel.
I love it. When you were thinking about this fight, and I know Pete replaced Kiefer Crosbie, and you weren't thrilled about that, but just when you were envisioning the fight, planning for the fight, did you think that you'd be able to stop him this quickly?
Also, like the stoppage, like regarding like the knockout, this was meant to be for Kiefer Crosby.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because he said something that was very disrespectful towards me,
What do you
and
say?
I
What do you say?
no, he called me a mucha, and you know what? I didn't know what is a mucha until I asked my English friends and asked them what is a mucha, and they told me that it's someone that lives off people's success. And I'm like, oh, so he's thinking that the Rock got me this because the Rock got me this because out of his own good heart, and he just wanted to help me and help a brother, based on what I've been doing as well. I've been helping a lot of people as well. And when he called me that, it affected me a lot because ever since this stuff with the Rock happened. I'll tell you this, brother. A lot of people came guns blazing at me and, like out of hate and jealousy and just saying all nasty stuff, to a point where I was thinking to myself, maybe I don't deserve all this. Maybe I don't, like I was in a mental state where it was very, very like depressing. People think I was happy with everything, but I was at a point in my life where everything looks glamorous to everybody, but, I was depressed and thinking to myself, people saying all kinds of stuff about me and things like that. And I was very depressed mentally as a person, and I couldn't wait to get out there and let it all out. And when he said what he said, I took it very personal. And he fell into the storyline of what was happening already. And I was like, you know what, you're going to pay for each and everyone that said this, because me, I always like to win by grounding, by submission and stuff like that. But I don't like to hurt people. But when he said what he said, I said, you know what, the world is mean. People are mean. People are going to do and say things that are mean, and you cannot be too nice all the time. And you need to make a statement on this guy. And it was meant to be for Kiefer Crosby. Unfortunately, Pete fell victim to it, and bless that guy. He took the fight on short notice. Yeah, man, it was not meant for him. It was not. It was meant for the other guy. But it happened, and I'm sorry for him.
That is a very powerful thing that you just said, and I appreciate the honesty. But to hear you say that you were depressed after all these good things have happened to you, given the relationship with The Rock, which I'll of course ask you about, but this house and sponsorship and all that, is it just like people started to come at you in on social media and whatnot, and you started to believe that you weren't worthy of all of this? Why would you listen to these people?
I'm a human being and I'm emotional, Ariel. And if someone comes to me and say things, like you look back and you're like, maybe, like you start questioning yourself as a person, and it was really bothering me. And sometimes I would cry by myself, because like you think to yourself, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't know, Ariel. It's just a difficult situation that I was in. I'm happy that I got the win. I got it out of the way because I was really under a lot of pressure as well. Because I didn't know who to trust anymore. Because you don't know if people are happy. Some who are happy, like some people are happy genuinely for me, but you don't know if the people are truly happy for you or just they are just happy because maybe it's benefiting them. Or it was very, 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 very difficult time because yeah, with all the internet stuff, man, it is a hard thing. It
I
is a
get it.
hard thing.
Do you feel
Yeah.
like you're over it, or do you still have those thoughts?
I'm over it. Luckily, I talked to DJ as well. He speak to me about all this. Actually, he called me and he told me that he like foresees all these things as well. Like he told me that what, things are going to be like this going on from now. You gotta be like this. You gotta be like this. Obviously, it's easier said than done because he's been there too. He's
Yeah.
been in those situations. Because like let's say the situation for me to have $7 in my account that day, it was not because like it was just a circumstance where I woke up on the day of the fight. I was sick. I had $87 in my bank account, and I had to buy medicine. And there was Vicks and Veps, and unfortunately, it costed $80 because I ordered plenty of things. Then they came there at 3 a.m. on the day of the fight with Takashi Sato, and I was left with $7.49 in my account. And I said to myself, I want to take a screenshot of this because you know what? I'm gonna go out there and win and get a bonus. And I want to post when I get the 50K and that I had $7 in the morning and I now have 50K extra in my bank account so that I just inspire people. And it was a circumstance and a time. I could have asked my manager, Jason House, he's in Las Vegas. I could have asked him and say, brother, I don't have money. Can you send me money? I didn't have money to buy food for my teammates who I was with on the day, even my coaches, on the day of the fight. It's just because it was time and place, life happens. Just like DJ, for him to be in the position where he was with the $7, his parents were in WWE. So you wouldn't think that you'll get to a point where he's got $7. So life happens and circumstances do happen. And, it's like sometimes the worst is for the best. And I posted that just to try to inspire people that, hey, you see, this is what happened. I was sick and I had this money in the bank account. Then he so happened to saw that post through one of his guys, I think it's one of the body or whatever, saw the thing and showed him. Then that's when he reached out. And I was already doing my thing in Zimbabwe by that time. I had auctioned my kit and I was busy building a borehole in my village in Zimbabwe. And that was the day that actually we finished doing that. And he tweeted and said, "Oh, I'll reach out to you, brother. I got your back." And then the management team asked me, like, "Did you see your phone?" And I looked up and I saw, oh, it was DJ messaging me. It was just real for me, just to have the message for me. I didn't know what he was going to do for me and everything. Just to be there and to have him tweet to me, it's a blessing, brother. DJ is a powerful man, and to have someone like that just tweet at you without even his parents. Like when he came here, I cried when I first saw him because it was just like surreal. I didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't tell me everything that was going to happen. Everything. I just to be in front of him, I cried because I know and remember that growing up as a kid in Zimbabwe, I had to walk 10 kilometers to go watch WWE on a Sunday through the window in a bar because we're underage. We're not allowed to go into the bar, so we watch through the window with all my friends. On Monday, we practice these moves at school, and to be able to have that person right in front of you, it's surreal. So I cried, and I promised him that I will become a champion, and I'm going to become a champion in the UFC just because of that as well. It has been my goal for me just before I go to the UFC, when I said this school that I'm going to become a UFC welterweight champion one day, and I believe this is the year, and it's
And I'm going to ask you about that in a moment as well. And I appreciate you telling us that story because I know you've told the story in multiple interviews, and I was trying to figure out a way to ask you all those things without having to bother you and make you repeat it all. And so you told it to us, and I appreciate that. You're a pro, my friend. But have you thought? And I'm wondering if this is even something that crosses your mind. Like, what if you have the $7, $7.49, I think it was exactly, and you don't decide to post it? And let's say the fight against Takashi Sato is just maybe not a great fight. Maybe you lose that fight. What happens to you? If not, if that never happens, if DJ does see, have you thought about what happens to you? You're left with $7 and nothing much else. You're just another fighter on the roster. Have you thought about where you go from there?
Trust me, we were laughing actually with my manager on Saturday because on Saturday before the fight, I was the one asking my coaches. I'm like, "Coach, are you nervous? Don't be nervous. I'll be fine. I'm going to go out there and do my job." But he was actually laughing and saying Themba was the one nervous in his last fight because I was shaking backstage. Jason has to come to me and say, "Hey, you're gonna be fine." Because one, I was sick and questioning. I had flu, and it was still there, and I'm coughing, and I'm trying to hide away from my team that I was sick, but they could tell because my voice had changed. and I'm backstage and I'm shaking and questioning if this was the right decision. Because if I lose 2 in a row, I'm out of UFC. Who knows, No matter even if the UFC likes you, you gotta win at some point. And I was questioning a lot of things backstage before that fight. And can you imagine, like, I lose that fight and I go back home, I'm out of the UFC and I'm broke. I cannot imagine life like that, I don't know what would I have done. What would I have done if the results were not what happened? Because I work so hard, Ariel, it's not like something that I do now. I've always been working hard. I've been in MMA since I was 19. And if you go to even my first coaches, they will tell you, Themba, they always had to chase me out of the gym to say, hey, go home. Even Anderson Silva does not train like this. You need to relax a little bit. So it would have been very devastating for me if I had lost that fight and probably get cut from the UFC. I don't know where will I end up being, Maybe I'll probably run on a train or something and just, yeah. It is not it's a tough one. It's a tough one, I have to tell you this.
I can imagine, because I know you were sleeping at the gym, you were sleeping on the couch upstairs. And
that's how bad I wanted to win the fight.
Yes. And let's be honest, there's a lot of fighters who are struggling. And so even before the internet started to get jealous and come your way, in the immediate aftermath of Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, seeing your story, coming to the gym, buying you the house, and helping you out, did you ever have a moment in the immediate aftermath saying, like, why me? Why is he being so nice to me? Why me? Why am I the one who is getting all of this?
Yeah, I did ask myself that question, but I always say, no, this is not me, this is God. That's what I said all the time. I had the answer and said, God wouldn't do this for me so that I can fail. That's why I was so confident in this last fight. Even leading up to the fight, I've never trained like this in my whole entire career, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to top it up. To work harder than this, I was at the gym now talking with my coach. I'm like, I want to work harder. And he says to me, how many more hours can you work harder? Because you worked so hard. And I said, maybe I must push myself a little bit harder in training. It's like, because you've been training so hard, you've got a certain amount of hours in a day, Themba, and you were working so hard for this fight to a point. My coaches were worried that I might get sick, I might get injured or something, and we're just discussing about that now. And leading up to the fight, I was just always reminding myself, like, with this thing with The Rock, this is unheard of. Even for him, he has never done something like this before, or has seen something like this before in his life. And I don't think there is very few stories like this where someone uplifts you the way he did for me. To just be here in America. Look, for me, like first, like just being without the house or anything, just being here in America, it's a blessing to be here. Coming from where I come from, Pikita, it's a rural area in Zimbabwe. Maybe in that whole district, maybe there's like few of us in America. In my village, I know for sure I'm the only one here. So it is a big thing. It is a big thing just to be here. And now to have someone like The Rock supporting me and being here, you just know that this is not me, this is not my doing. I just remind myself every day that this is not me, this is God. That's why I have so much faith in God now. I pray so much, and that I know that God is going to do and work wonders so that I can inspire a lot of people, especially the kids in Africa who grew up the same way I did, without anything, without rich parents, without parents, without money, without hope. That with self-belief, hard work, if you put in the right amount of work and you surround yourself with the right people, the sky is the limit. And I think that's my life, that's my story. That's why, like, when I tell the people that I'm going to become the UFC welterweight champion in 2024, it does not look like it, and everyone criticizes, oh, this guy feels like this. But my story and my life is not normal, even to myself. And I don't think I'm gonna have a normal path to the title. It's just gonna, before they know it, I'll be there and I'll be taking the title, and the world will then be like, oh wow, that guy was real.
When you say that your story isn't normal, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about your upbringing and what you had to overcome?
Everything. I don't know. Everything. Before I go to the UFC, before 1 week, like I just don't know. I just feel like there's signs that happen in life. Sometimes it scares me because sometimes I see things that I like. It's crazy if I have to say this. Before, like I got signed to the UFC on a one fight winning streak. And that same year that I got signed to the UFC, I had an interview in January with one of the podcasters in Africa. And they asked me, "What's your path now? You're coming off a loss." And I had just had a surgery on my shoulder. And they asked me, what is the way now? Because we were thinking you're going to make it to the UFC, but now you're coming off a loss. I told them, I'm one fight away from the UFC. I just have to win one fight and I will be signed to the UFC. And I was 9-3 then, and I 9-3 is not a very perfect record, right, to be in the UFC, especially coming from there. But I kept saying, I predicted my future. I said, I'm one fight away from the UFC. Even my own manager, Jason House, didn't believe this, that I'm one fight away from the UFC. And, but, Jason knows how hard I work. But, he also knows the reality of things. And he just said, brother, we need to keep working hard. And then I came here. I said, I'm going to go fight in America, win a fight, and I'll be signed to the UFC, maybe contender series, and then UFC or UFC. Then I got in Fury, fought the fight. I was still injured. Even my shoulder. When I fought the fight in Fury FC, I was still supposed to be doing the rehab, but I was so furious and I wanted to fight so badly and show the world that I can win a fight outside of Africa. So I wanted to fight so badly. Then I took the fight, fought the fight, won the fight. It was not even the most entertaining fight you will see out there. And I don't even want to watch that fight because I feel like it was my worst performance. Then I happened to be called by Corey Sandhagen to Las Vegas to go watch International Fight Week where Easy was fighting Jared Cannonier. I got there at the fight with Corey. Then we went to an after party, and then Corey went back to the hotel. He says, "Themba, you are in Vegas. It's your first time. Go out there and have some fun." Then I looked up on my phone where was Easy's after party. I went to the after party. Mrs. My manager was there, and got there, and everybody left Sean Shabby on the table by himself in the XS. And I looked at Sean Shabby. I was far. I looked at him. I looked down. I looked at him. I said to myself, "Themba, if you don't go right now and talk to Sean Shabby, you will regret for the rest of your life." And I went straight up to Sean Shabby and I said, "Hi, Sean." Then he says, "Oh, you are Themba." And I said, "Oh, yes." He's like, "What are you doing here?" Then I said to him, I was fighting in Fury." Then he says to me, "Did you, what was the results in your last fight?" I said, "I won." He's like, "Okay, cool. Can you fight next month?" Then I said to him, "Sean, I can fight next week if it's UFC." He's like, "No, screw the bullshit. Can you fight next month?" And I said, "Yes." He's like, "Okay, cool. Don't tell your manager, but yeah, you are in. I'm going to get you on contender series." Then straight away, I booked my flight. It was 5 a.m. I booked my flight to go back to Africa to prepare for the fight. Then 3 days before I got signed to the UFC, I had a dream. Someone screaming at me in my dream, telling me, says, "It's on the 15th, damn it." Then I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, what's happening on the 15th? Because then I was already worried. My visa was not booked for the contender series. And I was supposed to be on week 8. It was 4 weeks just before the fight. Then on the 15th, I went to bed with my phone next to me. I woke up with 3 missed calls from my manager, video calls, and on the 15th. And I woke up and I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe something is happening. Maybe they send the contract for contender series, but they did not send the contract for contender series. I called Jason, then he says to me, "Brother, I just wanted to let you know Sean is not going to put you on contender series." I was heartbroken because I was like, oh, this was the dream about, because someone was screaming and shouting him in the dream. Then I was like, this was the dream. Then he says, because he's signing me direct to the UFC. So like, this is not normal.
Crazy.
I think it's crazy. And to be here right now, I believe my path is not a very normal path. And I believe it's going to be a story where it's like a miracle. It's already been a miracle to be here for me. And I believe I'm going to become the champion this year.
And when you say miracle for you to be here, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not just talking about here as in the UFC. When you were younger, I understand, and I'm sorry, I believe both your parents passed away when you were young, and you were digging up diamonds, right, back home, and they would send German Shepherds to come after you, and you got like ravaged by these German Shepherds. That's accurate? Almost to the point where you died, right?
Yeah, I almost died. I got beaten by German Shepherds and I lost a lot of blood when I was on the diamond fields illegally. We were stealing diamonds. It was not right. but it was a way of life. It was a means to earn a living back then, because it was a year of drought in Zimbabwe, and the only way that we could make money was going through the diamonds and stealing the diamonds and selling them. And one day we just thought, okay, cool, we were bigger than we were. Then we went to the area where it was too dangerous with a policeman that was part of the syndicate. And he left us when his bosses came. Then we got bitten by the dogs to a point where I almost died. I lost a lot of blood. And to just be here, like, that's why I said to you, it's a miracle for me to be here as a person. Like being here, it's a miracle for me. And I think I'm living for a reason. And I'll just continue doing what I've been doing, continue being true to myself, work as hard as I know. And I'm not perfect, but I'll try to be better every single day too.
Do you ever have moments where you say, "I wish I could tell my parents about all this. They would have never believed that all this was happening to me now. I'm famous. I have The Rock with me, got my back. I'm in the UFC." Do you think like that?
If my father was alive, because my father was very hard on me growing up, he used to beat me up with his fists growing up, like where to the point where I'm bleeding and stuff. Like when they tell you about childhood, I don't know if we can say it like abuse, because we can't call that in Africa. It's like a normal thing. The parent beats you to pulp. In my family, my father's parents used to beat him like that, and his brothers beat his children like that. And he was just like that to me. He was very hard on me. He hit me with fist, and I
Wow.
was like 9. Yeah, so I don't think if my father was alive, I would be able to be doing MMA. He wanted me to be something else, probably a pilot or something. I was forced to come back home with number one. My grades had to be number one in the class. If I come back home with number 2 or 3, I'm getting beaten up for that. So I believe that everything happened for a reason. I think they died for the reason that I should be here right now in this position where I can inspire the world with my story the way it is. Because if I look at it, if my parents were alive right now, I would not be here doing this. I'll be doing something, working in the office somewhere, or being something that is educational, which is a norm thing in Africa for African kid. You go to school, you get a degree, you have to go and support your family, like they call it the black tax. You look after your parents, and I think that's what I'd be doing right now if my parents were alive. But I would wish, if they were here, they would see this. I would be looking after them in a very, very, very best way possible, because I don't enjoy anything for me personally. That's why I like to do what I do things for other people, because for me, the mission only is to become the champion. That's what makes me happy. Buy my farm in Zimbabwe, go back home and live on a farm with plenty dogs and rabbits, be happy ever after.
And so that's what I love about you. You're not just taking the Zoa sponsorship from The Rock and taking the house. You're always, and congratulations on that, by the way. You're always trying to give
Bless you,
back.
bro.
So can you tell me what you're doing now? I believe you're doing something to help build a library back home, and also to work with people suffering from cataract, right?
Yeah. So shout out to my man Dustin Poirier with that. So Dustin Poirier donated $10,000 towards that. That was in December when I saw him at the World MMA Awards, towards the cataract. So it was already out of the way, but it was before the fight. When I signed the contract for the fight, I had a mission, and I said to myself, I want to do something with my kids for the next fight. And because I went back home and I saw my uncle who's 92, and he could not see properly, but he's very healthy and young. If you look at him, he's 92. He still looks, he can run a mile. He's still young, like at heart. The only thing that affects him is he can't see. So, and then I saw a couple of elders there that couldn't see too. But they're healthy. They carry big bags of things to carry and go to the grocery stores and stuff like that to buy. And they can walk miles. They're doing labor things. but the only thing that affecting them is their eyes, and they cannot afford to pay for their own surgeries. It's a lot of money if you are in the rural areas. Like in the rural areas, if you have $100, you are like, yeah, you are balling.
Wow.
So like for them, they cannot afford to fix that problem, and they decide to just live with it and die with it. And I just thought to myself, maybe I can help them and fix this, because I didn't know it was fixable until one of the boys that was training in my gym when I was at the gym in South Africa had cataract and he couldn't see, and to a point where you put a film in front of it and he couldn't see at all what was in front of him. Then I managed to get one of my sponsors to pay for his surgery to fix that, and he said he could see, he was fine. Then I thought, oh, so it's fixable. And then when I saw that in the village, I said, I'm gonna do something and help them. So I'm doing that with the help that I got from Dustin Poirier. And then now, because I want to do the library, but one of the sponsorship deals that I got now, the sponsor came to me and he says to me on the deal, because when I sign a sponsorship deal, first thing I say is you have to do something in my village, and it's either a ball or something that I want from my heart. So we agreed with the sponsor that, okay, they said they're gonna set up the library for me. And then the other deal, yeah, so I got the library sorted without having to auction my kit. So now I thought, okay, cool, let me go back to the cataract again. So I'm auctioning the kits now. It's online right now on auction for the cataract, so that I don't have to go and do 5 people. Okay, if I can do 20 people cataracts, it's better, right?
It's incredible, yes, and it's a solar-powered library, and what you're doing for your community, for your village, is incredible. That piece of paper that you have over there, what is that that you've held up a couple of times? There's a piece of paper, right? Yes. What is this? Oh, is that your thing? Okay, I thought it was the piece of. It's your flight.
It's my flight, man. I messed it up.
What? No, I thought it was the piece of paper that you showed us in the post-fight interview with Daniel Cormier. That's what I thought it was.
No. This is my flight. I happen to just have this in front of me.
No problem. What is the paper that you had in the post-fight interview?
It's in one of my bags, because I keep them on a safe side forever, so that one day when this all said and done, people can look back and say, wow, this guy was putting everything.
You called it, right? I think you wrote, I'm going to KO him. I'm going to thank God for this victory. I'm going to make him miss and pay. And then you signed it at 11:24 a.m. Is that the morning of the fight that you wrote that?
Yes. That's
amazing.
Yeah.
You're putting it out there, you're envisioning it, and then you're going out there and realizing it.
Yeah, you work so hard to a point where you see things. Like I said to you before, I see things before they happen. And I kind of like know my path already. I just kind of like have to sometimes. Even the guys, DC, Laura Sango, and all of them went before the fight. They asked me the path to the victory, but I didn't want to be, to tell them. I even said to them, I won't put it out because it will jinx it. If I put it out, because there's evil eyes, bombastic side eyes. So there's some people out there that don't wish you to be doing so well, and if you put it out too early, some people will jinx it. So I said to them, but again, I left them with this. I said, will it be a surprise when I knock him out? Then they said to me, because they thought the path to victory for me was submission. I said to them, will it be a surprise when I knock him out before the fight? Because I knew exactly what was going to happen in the fight. I kind of like, even backstage before the fight, I felt there was a moment I felt sorry. I was like, I'm about to go and knock this guy out. Then I was like, Themba, don't feel sorry for him because he's getting paid. He's getting paid. But yeah, before the fight, I was feeling sorry for the guy, because I was like, are you going to really do this? And I said to myself, you know what? He's getting paid. He could be home right now, not getting paid. At least he's getting paid. Just go do your job.
Do you want to run it back with Kiefer now because he made it so personal?
Look, I don't think we are on the same level as fighters, personally. Nothing but respect. I respect everybody that fights, because you know what? We are fighting for something. We're all fighters. Even you are a fighter. You are fighting for something in your life. I'm trying. I'm trying, because if I say I'm trying, then I'm not really going for it. I'm going for the title. I'm trying to run. I don't want to put the word try. I'm going for the title. That's where I'm on one ahead towards. But however, I know that I have a good management team. I have I think the UFC kind of want me to do well because my story is so inspiring and powerful. And they've also, the UFC has invested a lot in me because they've shot a documentary already on me. And I only had one win in the UFC, and it's soon to come out and stuff like that. So I will just do my job, that is to train hard, fight whoever they put in front of me. And the right opportunities and time will come.
Okay. And I know that you say you want to be champ this year, and I applaud you for having that vision and for being so driven. Your fight only lasted 32 seconds, so you have some work to do to get to that point. And so far, so good this year. When do you think you'll be back?
I know. I don't think I know when I'm back
Oh,
already. That's why I'm training already. I'm back in May. I wanted to be back sooner, but I'm back in May because I'm also going to Africa to sort out the library and things. So I wanted to be back in April, but after the fight, the bossman Shabi came at the back and told me I'm May. So I'm back in May, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna go out there and do what I do best, that is to win. Most importantly.
against who?
I'm just going to leave it up to them. But yeah, I'm coming back in May, and I'm gonna go out there, do my job the way I know. And then I don't want to look past the fight. I'll look into the fight. Yes. So I'm coming back in May. I'm gonna do what I do best, that is to win. Yeah, man. And it's gonna be a blessing to be doing this again and again and again.
I love it. And I know you posted the video of you and The Rock speaking, but there was music. And by the way, I love the song. There's a song that was made in your honor, right? I looked it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Who made
So
that?
Mr. Conscious, one of the Zimbabwean boys, he made a song for me. That song is so powerful. I was
Yes.
gonna use that song as my walkout song, but I had an agreement before this fight with Haiti from the UFC that I'm only gonna use "God Gave Me Style, God Gave Me Grace" as my walkout song. So I kind of like I'll be going back on my word if I choose this song because the guy made the song recently. I like the song, it's so powerful, but I was like, I cannot go back on my word. I promised Haiti that I'm gonna do this. If I'm going to be wandering around, then I'm wandering around. So I kept I'm keeping that song, God Gave Me Style, God Give Me Grace, because it gives me so much power when I go in there. And yeah, man, it's the blessing to be here.
Well, what a story, man. You have amazing people who are backing you, and easy for me to say because I'm not in your shoes. But try not to listen to the jealous ones, the haters. You are living the dream. You have earned this. You deserve this, and you're inspiring a lot of people. So don't let people who are jealous, who wish they were in your shoes, get you down. Enjoy everything that you're experiencing now because there's a million people out there who would do anything to get 1 ounce of what you are getting right now, but you did it the hard way and you didn't ask for anything. You didn't beg for anything. Good people want to help you. So enjoy that, take that in, run with that, and I hope you get to realize your dream of being a champion sooner rather than later.
I will do so. I'm super grateful, Ariel. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Okay.
super grateful. It's just like I'm human.
I get
And
it.
if
I
someone
get
can,
it. I feel the same
if
way on
someone,
on a much smaller level. People come. We're all. It's a dangerous thing. This thing, and it can mess with your brain. We're all
yeah,
human, and I'm
that's
sure
why
it gets to The Rock too. People were upset that he came back on Friday. I don't know if you saw. People were mad. Oh, you're taking this guy's spot. He come back. Everyone, no one is immune from it, right? So it's natural. All these things happening to you, but it's a beautiful story, and you're a very easy person to root for. There's a lot of people. There's more people rooting for you than the vocal minority who are trying to make you feel bad about
yeah,
these
that's
things.
what kept me going in the camp. It kept me going. I was like, there's greater people and many people that want me to do well than the people that want me to do bad. Which is a blessing, which is a very big blessing that like at the Apex when I won, everybody in the Apex was happy. He was happy. Even Peter said, "I'm happy that you won because you know what? I would rather lose to anyone else but you." And that's speaks volumes, and I'm grateful. That's why I respect Peter so much. And yeah, I'm happy, Ariel, to be able to not chase, going after it, because if I say I chase, I will chase forever. I like to choose my words wisely because words, like on Saturday, I'll be honest, why I didn't get the bonus, it's on me because you know what? Molly McCann, she came to me and said to me before the fight, "Oh, Themba, let's go get this bonus on Friday." say, let's go get this bonus. I refused it. I said to her, Molly, I don't care about the bonus. I just want to win. So I kind of like jinxed myself. So I like to choose my words very wisely because of that. That's why I didn't get the bonus. I had the fastest finish on the card. I didn't get the bonus because I refused it by saying things into the universe wrong. And that's why I'm not even mad about not getting the bonus on Saturday, because it's me. It's on me. I jinxed myself, and I like to choose my words.
Well, I wish you the best. Next time you'll get it. And I wouldn't put that kind of pressure on yourself, but much respect for doing that. Congratulations on the win, on all your success, and great to have you on the show for the first time. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you, brother. It's a blessing to be here, man. I wanted to be here many years ago, but look at me now, talking to Ariel Hawan.
Yes, this is bigger than talking to The Rock, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a big just.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. The Rock is so, I don't know, bro. Like The Rock, it's you see when I don't know, maybe you've already met him.
Yes, no, he's an incredible guy, and I was just kidding, of course. But great to have you on, and I wish you all the best, and we look forward to seeing you back in May.
Thank you, sir. Bless you, bro.
All right, there he is, Themba Gorimbo. What a story! What a tremendous soul and person to root for. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.